You wake up one morning and realize you've been living the same day for 3 years. Not in a dramatic way. Nothing broke, nothing fell apart, but somewhere along the line you stopped asking yourself what you actually wanted, and you're not sure when that happened or if it even matters anymore.
This is the English Conversation Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike.
We talk about everyday life here, and we try to talk about it in English the way people actually do when they're just sitting together, thinking out loud, not teaching, not fixing anything, just being honest about what it feels like to be human.
Yeah, today we're talking about something that I think a lot of people feel but don't really say out loud.
What's that?
The feeling that maybe it's too late for something. You're not even sure what exactly, but there's this quiet sense that you missed a moment or you're behind or that life is just continuing and you're in it, but you're not really steering it anymore.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Do you?
I mean, not all the time, but there are moments when I catch myself thinking, is this it? Is this just what life is now? And it's not that anything is wrong exactly.
Right, that's the thing. It's not that your life is bad.
No.
It's more like it stopped moving in a direction that feels true, or maybe it never did, and you're just realizing it now.
That's uncomfortable to admit.
It is, because if you say it out loud, then you have to do something about it, right? Or at least think about doing something, and that feels big.
Or embarrassing.
How so?
Like, what are you going to say? I'm 42 and I just realized I don't know what I'm doing. People will think you're having a crisis.
Maybe, but I think a lot of people feel this way and just don't talk about it. They keep it quiet. They keep going.
Because talking about it makes it real.
Yeah.
I read something once, I can't remember where, but it said that most people don't wake up one day and realize their life went wrong. It's more like they wake up and realize they stopped paying attention somewhere along the way.
That feels true.
Like you made a decision 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and at the time it seemed fine, reasonable. And you just kept making that same decision over and over without really checking in with yourself.
Yeah, you just continue because it's easier to stop and asking, wait, do I still want this?
Right, and then one day you're looking at your life and you think, how did I get here?
Not in a bad way necessarily.
No, not in a bad way, just in a confused way. Like you were sleepwalking and you woke up in a place you don't quite recognize.
That's heavy.
It is, but I think it's normal. I think a lot of people feel this.
Do you think it's too late to change it?
I don't know. That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people get stuck because they think change has to be dramatic. Like you have to quit your job, move to another country, blow up your whole life. But what if it's not that? What if it's just about turning slightly in a different direction?
What do you mean?
Like, you don't have to burn everything down. You just have to start being honest with yourself about what's actually true, what actually feels right, even if it's inconvenient.
That sounds simple, but it's not.
No, it's really not.
Because being honest means admitting that maybe the life you built isn't the life you want, and that's scary.
Yeah, especially if it's a good life. Like on paper, everything is fine.
Right. You have a job, you have people, you have routines. It's stable, it's comfortable.
But comfort isn't the same as fulfillment.
No, it's not.
And I think people confuse those things. They think, well, my life is comfortable, so I should be happy. And then they feel guilty for not being happy.
That's such a trap.
It is, because you end up stuck between two feelings. One is, I should be grateful. And the other is, this isn't enough.
And both of those things can be true at the same time.
Exactly.
I had this moment a couple years ago. I was sitting at my desk doing work I'd been doing for years, and I just stopped. And I thought, I don't care about this.
What did you do?
Nothing. At first, I just sat there, and then I felt this wave of panic, like, oh no, what does this mean? Am I supposed to quit? Am I supposed to change careers? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything. I just kept going because I didn't know what else to do. And also because I thought, maybe this feeling will pass. Maybe I'm just tired.
Did it pass?
No, it just got quieter. I got better at ignoring it.
That's what happens, I think. You don't solve it, you just learn to live with it.
Which is fine in a way. People do that all the time. They carry things they don't talk about.
But it takes energy, doesn't it? To ignore something that's true?
It does. It's exhausting, actually. More exhausting than I realized.
So what changed?
I don't know if anything did change, really. I just started noticing it more. Like, instead of pushing it away, I started asking myself, okay, what is this feeling? What is it trying to tell me? And I still don't have an answer, but at least I'm listening now.
I think that's the first step, maybe. Just listening.
Yeah, not fixing, not deciding, just noticing.
Because you can't change direction if you don't know where you're actually going.
Right, and most people, I think, they're just going. They're moving through life, but they're not steering. They're just reacting to whatever comes next.
Yeah, wake up, go to work, come home, watch something, sleep, repeat.
And there's nothing wrong with routine. Routine is good. But when the routine becomes the whole thing, when it becomes your life instead of just the structure of your life, that's when it starts to feel empty.
Like you're maintaining a life instead of living it.
Exactly.
I think the hard part is that people feel like they're supposed to have it figured out by a certain age. Like by the time you're 30 or 40 or 50, you should know who you are and what you want.
Yeah.
But what if you don't? What if you get to 40 and you realize you've been living according to someone else's idea of what your life should be?
That's a really lonely feeling.
It is.
Because you can't blame anyone. No one forced you. You made the choices. But you made them for reasons that don't feel true anymore.
Yeah, like maybe you chose a career because it was stable, or because your parents approved, or because it seemed like the smart thing to do. And it was smart, but it wasn't you.
Right. And now you're decades in, and it feels too late to change course.
But is it though? Is it really too late?
I don't think it's about age. I think it's about fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of starting over. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of disappointing people who expect you to stay the same.
Yeah.
Fear of admitting that the life you built isn't the life you want, because that feels like failure.
But it's not failure.
I know, but it feels like it.
You know, I've been thinking we're not the only ones having this conversation.
What do you mean?
Every week, people listen and sometimes leave comments. And when I read them, I'm always surprised by how many are going through the exact same thing.
Yeah, I love reading the comments.
Me too. Someone will write, I'm 38 and I feel stuck. Or I thought I was the only one. And I think, no, you're not alone.
Knowing other people feel the same way makes it less lonely.
Yeah, it makes us feel like a real conversation.
You know what I think is hard, though?
What?
Other people's expectations. The people in your life have a certain idea of who you are, and if you start changing, they might push back.
Yeah, people don't like it when you change. It makes them uncomfortable.
Because you can't live your life for other people. You can't stay stuck just to make them comfortable.
No, but it's hard to disappoint people you love.
It is. But you have to choose yourself at some point. You have to say, I matter. My life matters.
That takes courage.
It does. More courage than most people realize.
I want to pause here for a second and just say something.
What?
To everyone listening, thank you for being here, for letting us have these slow, honest conversations with you.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of podcast where we tell you what to do or give you 5 easy steps.
No, we're just thinking out loud. And the fact that you're willing to sit with us in that space, in that uncertainty, it means a lot.
It does. Because I think this is the kind of conversation that doesn't happen very often. And it can only happen because you're here choosing to listen.
So thank you, really.
I think the scariest part is not knowing what you want. Like you know something is off, but you can't name it.
Yeah, that's confusing.
It is. Because people will say, well, if you're unhappy, just change something. But what? What do you change when you don't even know what the problem is?
I think sometimes the problem isn't a specific thing. It's more like your whole orientation is off, like you're facing the wrong direction.
What does that mean?
I mean, you're living your life based on old assumptions, old fears, old ideas about who you're supposed to be. And those things were maybe true once, but they're definitely not true now. But you haven't updated your thinking.
So you're living in the past even though you're in the present.
Kind of, yeah. You're operating from a version of yourself that doesn't exist anymore.
That's wild.
It is, but I think it happens to everyone. You change, but your life doesn't change with you. And there's this gap.
And the gap gets wider and wider.
Yeah, until one day you look around and think, none of this feels like me anymore.
So what do? How do you close the gap?
I think you start by asking yourself, who am I now? Not who I was, not who I should be, but who am I actually right now?
And then?
And then you build a life that fits that person, slowly, one small decision at a time.
That sounds exhausting.
It probably is, but what's the alternative? Keep living a life that doesn't fit?
No, you're right.
You know what's interesting?
What?
We've been talking about change like it's this big thing, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually really small.
How do you mean?
Like, it's not about quitting your job or moving to another city. It's about the tiny moments where you choose honesty over comfort, where you say no to something you don't want, or yes to something you do.
Those moments add up.
They do. Over time, those small choices create a completely different life.
But you have to be patient.
Yeah, you can't expect everything to change overnight.
And you have to be okay with not knowing exactly where you're going.
Right. You just have to trust that if you keep turning toward what feels true, you'll end up somewhere better.
That's hard though. We want certainty.
Yeah, but life doesn't work that way.
No.
You can't know. You just have to try.
Am I tell you something?
Of course.
Last year, I was having a really hard time. Nothing specific, just everything felt heavy. And I kept thinking, it's too late. I'm too old. I've made too many mistakes.
Yeah.
And one night, I was lying in bed, couldn't sleep, and I asked myself, if nothing changes, how will I feel in 5 years?
What did you realize?
I realized I'd feel worse. Like the same problems would still be there, but I'd be 5 years older and 5 years more stuck.
That's a hard realization.
It was, but it was also clarifying because it made me realize that too late isn't about age. It's about whether you're willing to be honest with yourself or not.
So, what did you do?
Small things. I started saying no to things I didn't want to do. I started noticing when I was just going through the motions. I started asking myself, do I actually want this, or am I doing it because I think I should?
Did it help?
Yeah, not in a dramatic way, but I feel more present, more like myself.
That's huge.
It doesn't feel huge. It feels quiet, but I think that's what real change is. It's quiet.
You know what I think people don't talk about enough?
What?
The loneliness of realizing you need to change. Like you're surrounded by people living their lives seemingly fine, and you're thinking, am I the only one who feels this way?
Yeah.
And you can't really talk about it because it sounds ungrateful or dramatic, so you just carry it alone.
That is lonely.
It is. And I think that loneliness keeps people stuck. Because if you can't talk about it, you can't process it.
You know, when people write to us in the comments, I'm always moved by how honest they are.
Yeah, me too.
Like, someone will share that they're struggling with the same thing we're talking about. Or they'll say, I've been feeling this for years and I never told anyone.
And it's brave to share that.
It is. And I just feel grateful that this has become a place where people feel safe to say those things.
Yeah, it's like we're all holding this space together for the hard stuff, for the questions that don't have answers.
Exactly. And that's rare, I think. Do you think it's ever too late, though? Like, truly too late?
To change?
What?
I don't think so. I think as long as you're alive, you can change. But I also think there's a point where change becomes harder.
How do you mean?
Like, the longer you've been on a certain path, the harder it is to switch to a different one. Not impossible, just harder.
Because you have more to lose.
Yeah, more investments, more commitments, more people depending on you.
So what do?
I think you have to decide what's more important, the life you have or the life you want.
And if you can't have both?
Then you make a choice and you live with it.
That's hard.
It is, but staying stuck is also hard. There's no easy option.
I think the thing that gets me is how much energy it takes to pretend, to act like everything is fine when it's not.
Yeah,
And people do it for years, decades even. They just perform their life instead of living it.
because living it honestly would require change.
Right, and change is uncomfortable.
But so is pretending.
Yeah, so you're uncomfortable either way.
Exactly. So you might as well be uncomfortable in the direction of truth.
I like that.
You know what I think is interesting?
Why?
We talk about change like it's this voluntary thing, like you decide to change and then you do it.
Yeah,
But sometimes life changes you, whether you want it to or not. Something happens and you can't go back to who you were before,
like what?
like losing someone, or getting sick, or having a moment where you see yourself clearly for the first time and you can't unsee it.
Yeah, those moments change you.
They do. And maybe that's what people are waiting for, some external force to make change inevitable.
So they don't have to choose it themselves.
Right. Because if life forces you to change, then it's not your fault.
But that's passive.
It is. It's letting life happen to you instead of making it happen.
And that's what we've been talking about this whole time, isn't it? The difference between being passive and being active in your own life.
Yeah.
I don't think we have answers, do we?
No, I don't think there are answers.
Just questions?
Just questions.
Is that okay?
I think it has to be. Because if we wait for answers before we do anything, we'll never do anything.
That's true.
Sometimes you just have to move towards something that feels more true, even if you don't know where it's going.
And trust that it will make sense eventually.
Or accept that it might not. But at least you're moving.
Yeah, I keep thinking about time.
Yeah?
Yeah, like we only have so much of it, and we don't know how much. And at some point, it really will be too late.
That's a heavy thought.
It is, but it's also true. At some point, you run out of time to become who you wanted to be.
So, what do you do with that?
I don't know. Maybe you just stop waiting, stop planning, stop thinking about it, and just start living in a way that feels true.
Starting when?
I don't know. Now, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, before we end this, I just want to say something.
What?
If you're listening to this and you've stayed with us this whole time, thank you. Really.
Yeah, this conversation has been long and quiet and maybe a little uncomfortable.
And the fact that you're still here means something. It means you're not afraid of the hard questions.
And if you want to share your own thoughts or your own story, we'd love to hear it. You can leave a comment or just, I don't know, just know that we're here.
Yeah. And if this conversation helped you in any way, even just to feel a little less alone, maybe you could share it with someone else who might need it.
Or just hit subscribe, not because we're trying to sell you anything, but because it tells us that these conversations matter, that this space matters.
And it truly makes us happy to hear from you, to know that we're not just talking into a void.
That we're actually connecting with people who are thinking about the same things.
So yeah, if you want to be part of this, we'd love to have you.
Okay, one more thing before we go.
What?
Just the question for anyone listening, not to answer out loud, but just to think about.
Okay.
If nothing changes, what part of you is slowly disappearing? And when did you stop listening to it?